Most people today believe wealth is all about flashy cars, expensive watches, and giant mansions plastered across Instagram. But here's the truth: real generational wealth never shouts, it whispers. The families that have held power for centuries don't measure their worth in what you see on the surface. Instead, they move with subtle confidence, marked by traditions, habits, and symbols that quietly signal their old money heritage. If you've ever wondered why some people walk into a room and instantly command respect, even without a single logo on their clothing, it's because they carry the timeless marks of old money. Today we're uncovering 10 old money signs that reveal true generational wealth. Secrets that separate the flashy new rich from families who've been wealthy for generations. 1. Understated elegance and style. Old money doesn't need bold designer logos. Instead, their wardrobe whispers refinement through simplicity. They choose quality over branding. A plain cashmere sweater from Loro Piana, a perfectly tailored navy blazer, or hand-stitched leather shoes will always outperform a shirt screaming with monograms. Their confidence doesn't rely on being recognized, it comes from knowing every detail is the finest. Unlike the new rich who chase trends, old money wardrobes rarely change. Styles remain consistent through decades, built on timeless tailoring and neutral palettes. To them, fashion fades but class endures. Even accessories follow the same rule. A slim vintage Cartier watch or discreet pearl earrings say far more about generational wealth than a flashy gold chain ever could. The elegance lies in restraint. If you pay close attention, you'll notice old money wardrobes don't compete for attention, yet they always leave an impression of quiet sophistication. 2. A deep connection to heritage. True wealth isn't just money, it's lineage. Old money families carry their last names like emblems, tied to generations of influence. You'll often find portraits of ancestors in their homes, not because they're obsessed with the past, but because they understand their wealth comes with responsibility. Family history is part of their identity. Vacations aren't always about luxury resorts. Instead, they return to ancestral estates, family-owned vineyards, or countryside homes passed down through centuries. These places are more than property, they're symbols of continuity. Conversations within old money circles often reference great-grandparents who built industries, or philanthropists who shaped culture. This constant tie to history reinforces their identity as more than individuals, they're custodians of a legacy. For old money, true wealth means never being disconnected from where you came from. 3. The art of education. Old money families know one truth: knowledge protects wealth. Generations invest in elite institutions, Oxford, Harvard, Eton, not only for academics but for the networks they provide. Education becomes both a shield and a weapon, ensuring their children move in circles of influence. But it doesn't stop at schools. Old money emphasizes intellectual curiosity. Dinner table discussions often cover history, art, politics, and global affairs, not celebrity gossip. The goal isn't just to look smart, it's to cultivate the kind of cultural fluency that sets them apart in every room. Hobbies also reflect this. Instead of short-term thrills, they nurture pursuits like classical music, literature, sailing, and art collection. These aren't random activities, they're lifelong investments in refinement. The lesson is clear: new money shows wealth with purchases. Old money shows it through knowledge and culture. For property that outlives them. One of the strongest signs of generational wealth is property that lasts beyond a single lifetime. While new money might rush to buy a mega mansion in Los Angeles, old money invests in estates, historic brownstones, countryside manors, or entire blocks of real estate in cities like London or New York. These aren't just homes, they're assets tied to history. You'll often see family crests on gates or gardens that have been maintained for hundreds of years. Each generation adds to the legacy, but the estate itself never disappears. Real estate is central to old money because it provides both stability and permanence. Stocks may crash, businesses may fall, but land remains. That's why so many wealthy families in Europe still hold massive estates centuries after their ancestors first bought them. It's a powerful message: while trends come and go, land keeps the family invincible. 5. A lifelong relationship with art and culture. Old money families don't buy art for decoration, they buy it for heritage and preservation. Walk into their homes and you won't just see modern prints from galleries. You'll see oil paintings, sculptures, and rare books that have been curated over decades. Each piece tells a story, each collection is a quiet museum of influence. Philanthropy in the arts is also a hallmark. Old money families often fund symphonies, operas, museums, and universities, not just for prestige but because it keeps their names permanently tied to culture. Their children are raised to appreciate the difference between Monet and Manet, Mozart and Beethoven. This depth of knowledge is a form of cultural currency, signaling refinement that money alone can't buy. The message is simple: new wealth fills houses with things, but old money fills generations with culture. 6. Their relationship with time. Here's a secret: old money never rushes. You'll notice how they treat time as their most valuable possession. They're never hurried, never desperate, because their wealth frees them from urgency. Meetings are scheduled at their pace, vacations extend for months, and investments stretch across decades. This calm, measured approach signals power, because only those who truly control their lives can afford patience. Even in conversations, their tone is slow, deliberate, thoughtful. They don't need to shout or interrupt, because their confidence lies in knowing they'll always be heard. To them, rushing is a trait of insecurity. True wealth is moving through the world with unshakable calm. And when you see someone controlling time, not being controlled by it, you're looking at a sign of generational wealth. 7. An obsession with privacy. Flashy new rich crave attention. Old money craves the opposite: privacy. You won't find them broadcasting their lives on social media. You won't see them parading expensive cars on TikTok. Instead, their influence operates quietly behind the scenes. Homes are often hidden by long driveways and tall hedges. Vacations happen on private estates or exclusive clubs where cameras aren't allowed. Even their social circles are built on discretion, because privacy is the last true luxury. They understand that exposure invites scrutiny, which is why the most powerful families in the world are often the least visible. The richest people in your city might not even be the ones you notice. That invisibility itself is the mark of old money. 8. Mastery of manners. Old money wealth isn't loud, but it is always polished. From the way they shake hands to how they write thank you letters, manners are never optional. Generational wealth teaches that behavior, not money, is what earns trust and respect. At dinners, their etiquette is flawless. In meetings, their speech is calm, clear, and never brash. When they enter a room, they don't announce themselves. Their quiet confidence does it for them. Even small habits matter. Saying please and thank you, standing when someone enters, or writing personal notes. These timeless gestures separate them from the arrogance of new wealth. Because true wealth isn't about money buying respect. It's about character sustaining it. 9. The power of philanthropy. Another old money sign is how they use wealth to shape society. They donate not for Instagram clout, but for legacy. Hospitals, libraries, and universities often bear their names, because giving back cements their family into history. Philanthropy also buys influence. By funding institutions, they gain access to elite circles of decision makers. A single foundation dinner can do more for their power than 1,000 business deals. But at its core, philanthropy reflects their belief that wealth is a responsibility, not just privilege. To them, money without contribution is meaningless. New wealth spends, old wealth builds. 10. A sense of duty to the next generation. Perhaps the strongest old money sign is how they prepare the next generation. Instead of spoiling children with endless luxury, they teach discipline, humility, and responsibility. In fact, many heirs are taught to work ordinary jobs in their early years, not because they need to, but because they must understand value. Wealth is paired with rules. Rules about conduct, education, investments, and even marriage. This discipline ensures the family legacy isn't lost through carelessness. To old money, the greatest mistake is raising children who don't respect the fortune they inherit. That's why their most important investment isn't in assets, it's in values. And that's the true difference between new money and old. New money makes millionaires. Old money makes dynasties. So those are the 10 old money signs that reveal true generational wealth. Each sign shows us that real wealth isn't about being loud, it's about being timeless. The families who've stayed rich for centuries didn't just spend money. They protected it, respected it, and passed it down with discipline. And maybe the biggest secret of all, you don't need to be born into old money to carry these traits. Start building them now, and you'll build a legacy that lasts far beyond your own lifetime. Hit subscribe if you're building your empire one habit at a time. New videos every Tuesday and Friday.